Carroll bringing it forward. Thompson's making the run. Carroll hangs on to it though. Still Davy Carroll. Could go all the way here. Oh, what a goal!
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Ringing the Blues in partnership with Virgin Media. On the show this week we have all the action and reaction from the game against Reading at the Select Car Leasing Stadium on Saturday. Plus Wycombe Wanderers fan Eleanor Crooks joins us for Till Death Us Do Part. But first, let's head to Mexico City for the full Liga Juan results with Uri.
We are ringing the blues from Mexico City. It's me, Uri, and here are the results for League 1. Reading 1, Wycombe Wanderers 0, Wrexham 3, Burton Albion 0, Birmingham City 6, Barnsley 2, Bolton Wanderers 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Charlton Athletic 2, Lincoln City 2, Exeter City 0, Stockport County 2, Huddersfield Town 2, Mansfield Town 1, Leyton Orient 0, Wigan Athletic 0, Peterborough United 0, Northampton Town 4, Rotherham United 2, Blackpool 1, Shrewsbury Town 0, Cambridge United 1, Stevenage 3, Crawley Town 1. So Wycombe will travel to Huddersfield Town on Tuesday to play their game in hand. Chairboys Spanish this week, a game in hand. How do we say game? Juego. How do we say hand? Mano. A game in hand, un juego en la mano. Or in Spanish we would say, un juego pendiente, a pending match. That's it for this week, and back to England with mi amigo Filiberto Cachapollos. Adios.
Cheers, Uri. Right then, Wycombe made the short journey across the border into Berkshire on Saturday to take on Reading. Charlie Goff joined us on commentary, and here's what happened. Big target as well, and the ball goes through to Reach. Goes for the early lob. Pereira scrambles and taps it behind, and Reading there, nearly the architects of their own downfall, heading back towards their own penalty area. Reach was onto it on his stronger left. Corner to Wycombe. Luke Leahy then to take it. 2.5 minutes on the clock, 0-0. Leahy puts both arms in the air, drills in a good delivery. Bradley gets up, back in by Humphreys. Offside flag goes up, the ball's in the back of the net. Simon's heading it home, but he was in an offside position. Humphreys heading it back in second phase. And credit to the assistant referee on the far side, because that flag was up very promptly. Can we find a way through? 18 minutes played then. Well, I'd say 15 minutes played, 3 minutes for the goalkeeper to get treated. And it's 0-0. Wycombe take it early now. And Kone, the ball was perfect. Kone gets there first, but the angle was so narrow. And it's gone out for another corner off Pereira. Lovely ball through by Leahy. Just a little heavy.
Again, Reading switching off again, and the goalkeeper's not happy about that, and they don't look on it at the minute.
Corner taken quickly and short. Leahy into the box. Bradley, free header over the bar. Has it again on the right wing. Humphreys is with him. Humphreys has the ball now into Simons. Simons to Reach. Reach goes for goal, left-footed. On target, stings the palms of Pereira. And Reach into Simons now. Simons spins, turns. Grimmer on the right wing. Looks up. Chips it back into the box. Kone's up, wins the header. McCleary tips over. Flag stays down. Kone with a beautiful header to McCleary, found him in space. McCleary with the looping one over Pereira, who flung himself back and fingertips it over the bar. Corner to the Chairboys, move of the match.
Yeah, you thought that could have been the moment there. Lovely header from Rich into G-Mac, and you think maybe that's going to loop over into the back of the net, but the keeper's made a great save and has gone out for a corner, and that's better from Wycombe, getting the ball down the right hand side, balls into the box and putting Reading's back line under a little bit more pressure.
Wing. Savage. Breffer. Nibbs comes into the space, uses Campbell on the left hand side. Reading have worked it well. Campbell inside the area. Penalty. Campbell goes down under the challenge of the referee. Excellently placed, points to the spot. And for the second season in a row in this fixture, Chem Campbell wins a penalty. This time it's for the Royals. Wycombe Wanderers, with 75 minutes on the clock, face a penalty at 0-0. Wrexham have just scored a penalty in North Wales. What can Reading do from the spot here? Nibs puts the ball down. No run up. Steps back 2, 3, 4 paces now. Several. Edge of the box, goes onto his right. And scores past Norris. Centre keeper the wrong way. And Reading have the lead in this one. Harvey Nibs, his 14th goal of the season. This one from the penalty spot. And Reading, after what has been an incredibly stressful week for their fans, lets off some steam in the sun here in Berkshire. Reading 1, Wycombe 0. Wycombe got it all. Mike, a narrow defeat. Did you see that coming after the first 40 minutes?
No, not really. I think it's. I think the players just said it in the dressing room there. It's a really harsh week on the group. You know, the fans, everyone associated to the football club, because really we should have 6 points. Unfortunately, we've got 1. But you know, we can't dwell on that. We can't feel sorry for ourselves. We've got to react on Tuesday. It's business end of the season, and at the moment, like we said to the group, we've come into that end of the season where the game's decided on moments, and we needed a moment on Tuesday night, and it didn't land for us. And then a moment happens in favour of the opposition, which is never a penalty, which decides the game. Look, do we need to have a little bit more on the top area of the pitch? Probably, in terms of the last 2 games. You know, I can't sit here and feel sorry for myself around we haven't scored in the last 2 games, so I'm not naive to that bit. But one thing I will say is, in the last 2 games, if you take a wider perspective on it, we should have 6 points. We haven't, so we've got to get on with it.
Where's it going wrong in that final third?
It's that final little bit of action. You can't have quadruple the amount of chances the opposition have today and come in with no goals. We had 30 odd shots on Tuesday night. If you look at over the last 2 games, we've had almost 50 shots on goal. So I'd be more concerned if we weren't getting to the opposition box. So I'd be more concerned if that was the case. But like I said, I can't remember. It was 15 shots on goal today. It was 30 odd the other day. I think before the penalty there, and I don't like talking about data because you can manipulate data in your favour, but I think before the penalty there, XG was like 0.10. Will Norris didn't have a save to make in pretty much the whole game of note. So it's just that final action at the moment. But like I said, it feels really harsh. It feels really harsh on everyone associated to the football club at the moment. But it is what it is. We've got to get on with it. We've got to dust ourselves down and make sure we're ready to go on Tuesday.
I was going to say that it's the next game Tuesday. You said it's been a harsh week. How do you pick them up for Tuesday?
I think the lads have said it all in there. They're a really focused and driven group. So 3 or 4 the guys in there have said everything that was needed to be said. If I'm being brutally honest, I added my penny's worth on it. Like I said, we'll shoot like we always do. We'll follow a process in terms of reflecting on the game, the things that we could have done better, and then we'll make sure we're ready to go on Tuesday to make sure we get 3 points and change the momentum back the other way.
It's been a really tough week for Reading fans, and you felt that release today, didn't you? Especially when the goal went in.
Yeah, listen, I'm not bothered about any of the football club apart from Wycombe, the fans, the ownership, and the people behind the scenes. That's always my focus. So that was never something that was in my mind. I think my overarching feeling is it's just a really cruel week. I think that's my overarching feeling for the players and everyone associated to the football club, because we should have 6 points, and unfortunately I'm stood here with 1.
Still games and time to put this right though?
Yeah, definitely. And we've got more than enough quality, and we've got more than enough know-how in that group to change the kind of momentum at the moment. So I'm really positive around the next few games, and we've got to start putting pressure on the people around us a little bit.
Good to hear from head coach Mike Dodds after the match. But what about the Reading fans? Well, it's time for the opposition view. Sutek.
Well, that was rubbish. We started slowly and looked well off the pace, but got away with it until half-time. After the restart, Wycombe just seemed to get tired as the game went on. whilst Reading started to pick up, get in amongst them, and look more like a team challenging for the playoffs. Although we could never really shake Wycombe off.
Royal boy.
That was a terrible game. I hate these early kickoffs. A welcome, if fortunate, 3 points though. It was tough on Wycombe, as I have total respect for them and what they have achieved this season.
Marlin, 28.
Wycombe were by far the better side, but credit where credit is due for Reading. We never stopped running, and at this stage of the season, that gets you a long way.
Tia Galori.
We were very lucky not to concede in the opening quarter, but all credit to the players as we got back into it. I did wish at times that we didn't sit so deep though. It invites far too much pressure, and our players don't seem to be confident enough in themselves to pass the ball around, instead of just hoofing it to our wingers, as you perhaps expect at this level.
Lita.
Wycombe started well, and they really were all over us initially. The ref was absolutely shocking though. I'm still amazed he gave us the penalty. It was a decent away turnout from Wycombe supporters. Let's just hope our club survives.
Alistair.
Did we play well? No. But we showed what we were made of. Dug out the result, kept going, and defended really well. And that's what the end of the season is all about. Just get the 3 points.
Paul Templeton.
It's been a long time since I last remember us being so second best throughout all parts of the game, but still winning, which I'm delighted about, as it suggests our fortunes are finally changing.
Alex Shepherd.
Our game management was brilliant. Pereira nailed it in receiving treatment when they were all over us, took the sting right out of the game. Our decision making in the second half was great. We took no risks. The substitutions were also perfect. We're so much better at seeing games out now.
Leonard Graham.
Wycombe, you need to take your chances. You failed. See you in the playoffs. Oh, bring a chair.
Royal Reading, 106.
The takeover is going to happen, and we're going to win at Wembley, and the fairy tale will actually come true after this nightmare. Up the flaming ding.
There's been a rumour that there's a new lightning-fast player in town, and I can confirm these rumours are correct. Virgin Media is here and is guaranteed to be a crowd pleaser. If you're tired of your broadband giving you the blues every time you want to do something, fear not. Virgin Media are right here in Wycombe and have brought their lightning-fast full fibre to the area to keep you entertained in between matches. Tuck into as many live sporting events, movies, games and tunes as your heart desires. Not forgetting our podcast with unlimited downloads on Virgin Media's intelligent Wi-Fi. All delivered at the speeds you need to keep the whole house happy. And the best part is, you don't need to wait until the next transfer window to make Virgin Media your favourite signing of the season. Find out more at virginmedia.com or drop into your local O2 store. New customers only, eligible Virgin Fibre areas only, subject to survey, network capacity and credit check. Supporting a football club is like a marriage. Your club is there for life through the good times and the bad. We ask Chairboys fans for their most cherished old memory, their current favourite player, the best borrowed player we've ever had, and for something blue, we talk club merchandise. Okay, joining us this week, Wycombe Wanderers fan Eleanor Crooks. Eleanor, great to see you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Phil. And you?
Very good. Little disclaimer, this is about, it's over 30 years since we last saw each other, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. We used to play a different sport together.
Yes, long time ago. Obviously, I don't want to reveal our ages here, but,
No, don't do that, no.
So whereabouts do we find you in the world?
So I now live, I mean, I'm from Knaphill near Wycombe, but I now live up near Bury in the northwest.
So a Wanderers fan in exile. And where did your journey with Wycombe Wanderers start? When did you become a fan?
So so my family were not football fans at all. So I got into football independent of anyone else in my family. And it was after the 1990 World Cup. I am aging myself now. So I think I became a fan when I was about 13, I think. So in the early 90s. I just, once I got into football, I sort of thought, right, okay, who can I support? And I thought it made sense to me to support my local team. I think it helped that they actually, this is a bit embarrassing, but my favorite color is blue. So if Wycombe hadn't worn blue, I'm not sure if I would have thought they were the team for me. But so that helped, I think. And then I started going down to Adams Park, in about 93, I think. Yeah, about 93.
So I remember World Cup 90 very well indeed. And then obviously the early 90s, and not just Wycombe wearing blue, but it was obviously a great time to be a Wycombe fan as well. Because I think we were both spoiled at that time because Martin O'Neill was a manager and every week they seemed to win. So what's not to like?
I know, and I think I sort of thought that it was always going to be like that, and which obviously it wasn't. So I was spoiled. I mean, my first year that I started going to sort of nearly all the matches was the first year in the Football League, and then obviously that ended up with us getting promoted. So it was a good start. So that kept me hooked for sure.
Fantastic. Well, let's start off with the questions then. And this is tough because I know you've got exactly the same time reference as me. Your favourite ever Wycombe Wanderers memory, something old. What's it to be?
Oh, so it's got to be the FA Cup quarter-final against Leicester.
Yes.
That's got to be my favourite one. So I've got a long story about it. If
that's fine, that's what we're all here for. Yeah,
great. So I was at university at that time, so I wasn't based at home. And I don't know if you remember, but to get a ticket for tickets for Leicester were obviously like gold dust, and you had to have been to if you weren't a season ticket holder, you had to have been to 3 matches in the FA Cup run, which I had been to, but I could only find tickets for 2 of them. But then the one that I couldn't find the ticket to was the Wolves game. And I had the programme for I think it must have been the next league game. And there was a picture of the Wolves game on the front and you could see me. So I decided this was good enough. So I sent my mum down to Adams Park to queue up for a ticket at some unearthly time in the morning with 2 tickets and a picture of me on the front of the programme. Not really thinking that this would work. Anyway, so my poor mum was stood there for about an hour in the cold. And she was, I don't know, about 20, 25 people from the front. And then they came out and said, I'm sorry, all the tickets have gone.
Oh, no.
But so they went down the line and asked, how many tickets are you looking for? How many tickets are you looking for? And crucially, they didn't check the 3 tickets. So my mum just said, I want 1 ticket. So he put her down on the list. Anyway, we didn't hear anything. And then it was the day before the match, still hadn't heard anything. And it was my friend's 21st birthday party. And we were going up to her house in Shrewsbury. And I'd gone out the door, turned my mobile phone off. I hadn't heard anything at all. And then I remembered that I'd forgotten the shoes I was going to wear. So I went back to my house. As I walked through the door, the phone rang. And it was my mum saying that Wycombe had just been on the phone and they had a ticket for the quarterfinal. And did I want it? So obviously I was like, absolutely, yes, I do. So then my mum had to drive up the M40. I had to meet her at a service station, get the ticket, go to Leicester. And obviously, the rest is history. But if I hadn't walked back in the door at that exact moment and forgotten my shoes, I don't think I would have got to go to the match. So
lots to unpack here, but First of all, your mum sounds like an absolute hero, by the way.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I owe my mum big style for that one. Yeah.
And I love the fact that the evidence was there, the photograph. In this day and age with AI, that we wouldn't buy that, would we? So
No,
I think it's
don't think so.
a simpler
Yeah.
time, but a photograph of you at the game. Was
Yeah.
it the Andy Rammel in the snow one? Were you in
It
that?
was the Andy Rammel and the snow one, yeah. So I was behind the goal and you could see me because I used to stand on the terrace behind the goal. Yeah.
That's in a frame at Adams Park, the big picture. Next time I walk
Oh,
past
well, there
you.
we go. Maybe I'm there.
Next time I walk past it, I'm going to try and find you in there. That's fantastic. I think that is initiative, supportive parenting, and incredible commitment on your part as well to then drive.
Yeah.
And as you say, completely worthwhile because
we
all know what happened.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I just remember, when Essendo's header went in, I just remember because I didn't go with anyone I knew, so it was just me alone. And I just remember everyone was hugging, I was just hugging the person next to me. Who, it was absolutely unbelievable. I think.
We're 2 minutes into injury time. 24 in the box for Simpson's free kick. Decent double-fisted punch by Royce. Here's Ballman back into the mixer. Knocked back by Bates. Essendo! It's in! And the man who they found through an advert on the internet has really put Wycombe on the worldwide map. You couldn't make it up. You really couldn't. Surely they're there now. We're deep in stoppage time. The man born in Belfast who grew up in Ghana, he's played in Scotland, in Finland, but he's never scored a goal as important as that one. Bates is knocked back. His Sando buried it. That's the manager's reaction. Tell him the magic's gone out the cup.
Yeah, it's one of those moments I will never, ever forget.
I mean, Big Roy always gets the headlines, and quite rightly so. But it was a fantastic day, wasn't it? In terms of
it was unbelievable.
Wycombe deserved to win, actually. And there's the penalty that never was. There's all the drama around Laurie Sanchez and everything else. It was a wonderful game, and obviously, the ending will always grab the headlines. But it was just a great day for the club because it was we've gone toe to toe. I think they were third in the Premier League at that time, weren't they?
They were certainly high up. Yeah, absolutely. They'd been, playing in League Cup finals and things like that. So. Yeah, it was absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, and I did manage to make my friend's 21st birthday party as well. I drove to Leicester and then I drove back again. So she understood. Oh, it was incredible.
So I love this. We've got the vagaries of Teddy Tex providing us with Roy. We've got all sorts of things going on getting you to the game, and it all lined up perfectly for what is your best ever Wycombe Wanderers memory, and a great story attached to an event that we all know very well. And like I say, next time I walk past Andy Rammel's picture at Adams Park, I'm going to try and spot you in the background.
Have a look, a bit of a younger me,
Right, up to the modern day then. Something new, your favourite player in the current squad?
Oh, God, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard.
Very.
Partly because obviously there's been a lot of changes, but I think it's got to be Josh Scowen.
Oh, yes.
I think it's got to be my favourite player. I love the fact, obviously, that he started at Wycombe and then he came back. And I just think in terms of, he's not a glamour player, is he? He's not the person that gets the headlines, but every team needs a Josh Scowen, needs somebody there in the midfield with that complete commitment. And also, I think he is actually a much better footballer than he probably gets credit for. Everybody, you focus on his tackling and just the energy. But I remember seeing him score a brilliant goal at Accrington a couple of seasons ago. It was like a volley on the edge of the box. And then also when my son was mascot a few weeks ago, he walked out with Josh and got a picture with Josh in the changing room. And so it's got to be Josh Scowen.
Yeah, great memories, and it's amazing. Because I don't think he's even 30, or if he is 30, he's only just turned 30, but he seems like he's been with us forever.
Yeah, I know, and obviously, especially because there have been quite a lot of changes in the squad, haven't there? So I feel like he's such an important presence there, and he's the sort of player I think if I was a manager that I would always want on my team sheet. yeah, although obviously a bit of a risk of cards, but yeah, no, he's done okay this season.
I don't think he's been suspended this season.
No, or maybe for the 5 yellows.
Yeah, maybe the 5 yellows.
That might be it, I think. Yeah.
Possibly. So it sounds like your son also backs you in this theory that he's the best, the most popular player as well. So when you're mascot, do you get to choose who you walk out with when you're mascot?
Yes, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah. So that is quite cool.
I never got to do the mascot. Were you a mascot?
No, I was never a mascot. No, absolutely not. I was never a mascot. So. Yeah, but I'm just impressed that living up in the Northwest, I've made my son a proper Wycombe fan. So
that's fantastic. So so you're a Wycombe Wanderer in exile, but not only is he a fan, but he's also come out with the team at Adams Park, which is a wonderful experience.
Yeah, no, it was brilliant. And I mean, I would honestly, if anyone's got kids, especially around sort of, 8, 9, 10, I'd definitely recommend doing it. It's brilliant. You get to go behind the scenes, go in the changing rooms, like meet all the players. And yeah, he absolutely loved it.
Incredible. Well, Josh Gurn, another entry into the Till Death Us Do Part Hall of Fame for Josh Gurn. And let's move on to something borrowed. Favourite ever loanee or player that you wish we signed but never did?
Yeah, this is tough. I was thinking about this because obviously we've had quite a few loan players over the years, haven't we? And one that I always remember, and I looked him up and I couldn't believe that he was only on loan for a month, was Stephen Taylor from Newcastle. I just remember him being absolutely brilliant. I know he sort of became a bit of a figure of fun, didn't he, in his Newcastle days? But I just remember how good he was for us. So, and I don't know, in my head he was on loan for a season or half a season, but it was only a month. So he actually only played about 6 games, but he was excellent. Obviously, Ebiri Eze was clearly stood out as a player who was far too good for the level we were playing at, and was going to be a star. So it's great to see what he's gone on and done. But I think I would have to pick for my favourite Alfie Mawson.
Alf was amazing.
Yeah, he was that season he had. He was so good, and he sort of felt like he really sort of bought into everything and was really part of the club and really just led from the front, or I suppose from the back. But yeah, he was absolutely outstanding. And and then for him to come back, I mean, obviously I know it sort of didn't work out because of the injury, but that was nice that he got to play for Wycombe again. And it's a shame that he didn't have the career he deserved to have because of the knee, but he still played for England, didn't he, and played in the Premier League. So I think I would have to say Alfie.
And we talked earlier on about your sort of amazing chain of events to get to Leicester, but for Alfie to get to Wycombe Wanderers was almost, the story is that if it wasn't for someone getting injured at Brentford who was going to join Wycombe on loan the day before the season started, and Wycombe desperately needed a centre-back, and they were like, oh, we've got this guy, but we don't know much about him. And then he trots off the bus on the opening day of the season. If that hadn't have happened, there's rumours that he was saying that he was going to go and work with his dad on Ealing Market and never play football again. I mean...
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Can you imagine that? It's just incredible. Yeah. He's such a great player.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? You have these sliding doors moments where, if something didn't happen, life could have been completely different. So, but no, he was absolutely brilliant.
You talk about Stephen Taylor. I remember him as well. And it was sort of like he came out the tunnel and he's the first sort of passage of play, and you think, wow, okay, this guy is a different level. And it's the same with Alfie Mawson. I think his debut, he was away at Newport on the opening day of the season. Obviously, the season after what had happened at Torquay, so everyone was a bit sort of, not sure what to expect. And I think we won at Newport, which was unusual in itself. But everyone was like, who's this kid? And he's really good. Where have we got him from? And it was this sort of straight away. And the same with Ebbs as well. You can tell, can't you, when a player's come from a high level, straight away you think, right, they've got more time on the ball. But we had him for the whole season, and what a season it was.
Yeah, no, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And it's, I love it when you see people who stand out at our level, but then actually go on to be as good as you think they could be. Because sometimes you see players, don't you, and you think, wow, they look amazing, they're going to have great careers, and it for whatever reason it doesn't quite happen. So, and it's nice to think, isn't it, that Wycombe has sort of played a part in the story.
And are you like a lot of the other fans when the loanies then go back and then they go and do what they do? Like when Eze scored for England the other night, for example, I still take a almost paternal pride in it almost, even though I had nothing to do with it.
I do, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I always say, former Wycombe player, yeah.
Yeah, if it wasn't for us, he wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly.
Well, another entry into the Hall of Fame, and I think football's loss sounds very much like golf's gain, because that's what Alfie Mawson is doing most of the time.
Oh,
these
is
days.
it? Right, okay.
Yeah, he plays on the
Yeah,
Wycombe Wanderers
it's-
Golf Day regularly, and I understand he's a regular on the course, and as this will come as no surprise to you or anyone else, an excellent golfer now.
Yeah, yeah, he's on. Yeah, sports people are always like that, aren't they?
I know, annoying.
There's annoying people that turn out to be good at everything.
Yeah. Right, on to some merchandise. The club shop has got lots of obviously light and dark blue stuff and all the other kits and bits and pieces. I can see the calendar on the wall there. So
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So you've been into the club shop. What's your idea for something blue? Let's have a think about this. What could Wycombe Wanderers be doing?
I was struggling on this one, I have to say.
Maybe we can
I
combine this with your date, because you work on as a journalist covering tennis for the Press Association, right?
Yeah.
So maybe maybe there could be some Wycombe Wanderers tennis merchandise, possibly.
Maybe they could. Tennis racket, nice dark, light blue and dark blue ball, maybe.
That could be good, yeah.
That
tennis
could be good.
Well, the Wycombe Wanderers towel could be used. Obviously, towels used in tennis quite a bit, so we can maybe small hand towels. I think the merch thing with tennis, possibly. That's how we met at Natfield Tennis Club.
It is
a long time ago.
a long time ago. Yeah.
So I'm thinking that I think a quarter tennis court could be quite good.
I mean, the quarters would be perfect, wouldn't it, for a tennis court?
Absolutely, yeah. And I was thinking, I've started playing paddle. So I'm thinking maybe some Wycombe Wanderers paddle merchandise, because that's becoming the fastest growing sport in this country, I believe.
It is, that's right. Yeah, paddle's become absolutely huge. I've played it a few times. I still play tennis a lot, so I don't have too much time for paddle. But yeah, no, it's great. So yeah, and it'll only grow, I think. So yeah, Wycombe should get ahead of game there, I think, with some paddle bats or paddle balls.
Paddle merchandise. Okay, this could be interesting. So football's obviously your first love of sport, but then tennis has played a huge part as well. And I guess you get to travel the globe covering tennis, which sounds incredibly exciting.
I do. I am lucky. I never forget that. Work is still work, and sometimes it can feel like hard work, but no, I am very lucky. I get to travel around and watch tennis for a living, and and then also I report on football and various other sports. So no, I appreciate that there are many harder jobs to be doing out there. So
fantastic. Any career highlights covering sport?
It's got to be, I think, watching Andy Murray win the titles that he won. So I was there both times that he won Wimbledon. I saw him win the US Open. I saw him win 2 Olympic gold medals.
Wow.
So yeah, all of those were great. Watching Britain Davis Cup, that was also because obviously, Andy Murray, you could see that he had the potential to win a Grand Slam title, whereas I never ever thought that I would see Britain win the Davis Cup. So so that was great. But yeah, just be covering this era of tennis and seeing Nadal and Federer and Djokovic and Serena Williams and everybody sort of win the titles that they've won. So no, I know that I am very lucky to do the job that I do.
Sounds incredible. So obviously you're there as a journalist covering that, so you have a sort of a job to do and everything else. So then when you come to see Wycombe Wanderers, is that your sort of release in sport where you can just go, right, I'm just here, this is proper fan experience?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I know it's funny because when I report on football, it's normally the Premier League. So, I get to do that for a job, and then I pay to watch League One football. But no, I love it. Yeah, it is nice just to go to a sporting event and be a fan and not have to be impartial, not have to, because when you're writing about sport, like last minute goals are an absolute nightmare because obviously it changes. You've got to suddenly change what you've written very quickly. So it's nice not to have to worry about that. Just to be a fan, and I say just to get to share it with my son. That's probably the best bit about it.
I bet as well, yeah, that bond. My son's not quite old enough to go to the game yet, but I'm super excited about taking him to his first Wycombe Wanderers match. How was that when you took your son to his first ever game?
Yeah, it was funny because I took it. I remember it was Morecambe, and he was only 2. I think he was about to turn 3, I think, but yeah, he was only 2. So he was a bit young. He didn't really obviously understand what was going on. And I remember I was worried because we sat down at the front, so there was like space and he could sort of run around a bit. But then there were only like small advertising banners, and I was like worried the whole time that he was just going to run on the pitch, but thankfully he didn't. But then there was only about 10 minutes to go and he suddenly sort of pointed at the pitch and looked a bit surprised and went, "Men playing football." So I don't think it really registered with him. But then yeah, it was nice actually because obviously during COVID we didn't really get to see any matches for a couple of years, and then when I took him back to the first one after that, he was probably then 6 or 7, I would have thought. And the first one we went to see after that was the Cheltenham one at home that ended up being 5-5.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah. And obviously he couldn't really remember going to a match before then, so that was the first one he remembered. So yeah, and I sort of had to say to him, in all the years I've been watching Wycombe, I've never ever seen a 5-5 draw or 10 goals in a match. So yeah, that was really cool, actually.
Fantastic. Well, Eleanor, it's been wonderful to catch up and get your Wycombe Wanderers experiences. And we've got a game or so. I think we've got the Bolton game coming up.
Bolton, yeah. I'll be at that one, yeah.
Over Easter. So, we'll look forward to seeing you there. And, exciting times to be supporting this wonderful club. And as we always say, come on, you Blues.
Yeah, absolutely. Up the Chairboys.
That's it for this week's episode of Ringing the Blues in partnership with Virgin Media. We'll be back next week with news of our home game against Stevenage. Come on, you Blues.